Hello everyone. How are things going today? Look like chat's already pretty hopping. That's cool. Everybody all right today? Can you hear me okay? Is the audio levels and things doing well for you out there? Letting things catch up here a little bit so you can see me in all of my glory. Great, Voltix, thanks. So how's everybody today? You doing all right? Things going good for you all? I haven't done this. Peanut Butter Jess should be along in just a few minutes. She's doing some other stuff for a thing that we hope to have out on our channel later this afternoon. Not this afternoon, later this week. But she should be along before too long to help manage the chat and watch out for some things. Sorry, still getting things set up here. Hey, Knox, how are you? Self-sufficient as always, I guess. Knox, I just finished the Revan book, so that's something we can talk about today. Also, I don't know if you've read Revan before, but I know you're into Old Republic stuff. I played part of this game, Leon, but as you know, games often take a while to finish. So I played this for about 3 hours, and I had to look some stuff up. I don't know if you remember from the end of the last stream that I did. I was on a level and it was timed, and I didn't realize it was timed, and apparently you have 10 minutes to finish the whole thing, and all of the save points that I had were not long enough to actually do the things you needed to do. So I'm going to have to start that part of the level over again. But this game has 3 different campaigns according to the internets, and I'm almost finished with the first one. So I'm going to get started here in just a second and do some more. That's cool, Voltix. What game are you streaming? And Nox, yeah, Revan was great. You know, I've always liked the characters and stuff, but I had never read that novel, and it was really good. I was actually surprised. I don't usually get surprised by Star Wars books anymore, and I thought it was really good. I was pleasantly surprised. But let's see if we can get the game going here. Go ahead and load things in. I actually don't want either of these. I may have to load one of these and then restart the level from it. Can I go back? No. Alright, well, we'll do this because I got to restart this level because I'm in a very bad place, a place where it is unwinnable from the place I'm in. Thanks, Sarge, about my shirt. It's just red. Red's nice, I guess. Yeah, I've not read the Bane trilogy either. But I want to read that too. So let's go here and now restart the level. Yep, this is what I need to do. So if you don't remember, we are on Geonosis. It says 5 minutes there, but I think we actually have 10. But I've never read the Bane trilogy either. I know part of what happens just from having seen things online. No, I haven't read it. But I'm kind of in the middle right now of some stuff. You know, I was trying to work my way to reading up to the New Jedi Order again, doing a reread of that. But I've kind of taken a break through the Old Republic stuff, so I'm gonna read the Tor novels, and then I think I'm gonna get into the Bane stuff maybe after that. Which way do I go? This way. But yeah, so I kind of know the broad strokes of what happens in the Bane trilogy, but I've never read it. But I really did like Drew Kaparshin. Did I used to say that? Kaparshin? Honestly don't know how you pronounce it. Well, we're already dead. Yeah, Voltix, this game is old. You know, not on all games can be new. But yeah, this game came out in 2005, 2006, one or the other. But I don't think it's got bad graphics for a 12-year-old game.
Stabilizers failing. System failure.
I know you're picky about stuff, so.
Eliminate target. It's done.
And also, B button. Oh yeah, Nox, you're the best. Yep. Okay. Is that still, I guess, more effective? Dang it, I gotta heal. I keep forgetting to heal. I've not played this game at all since the last stream I did, and so I'm kind of re-familiar. Jess, there you are.
Hi, sorry I'm late.
No, you're fine. You're just hanging out, shooting some battle droids. Already.
Sounds like a good day.
Already mostly dead, because I've forgotten all of the game controls. One hit kills the B1s. Yeah, we got a pretty happening chat right now, actually. Your friend.
Oh yeah. See,
your friend Peanut Butter there is asking after you.
Hey Peanut Butter, thank you for dropping by. This is me. This is just me on my other name. Sarge is here. Steven's here. Nox is here. Oh my gosh. Voltix is here. Gotta scroll through and see what's going on. That's amazing. Hello, all of my favorite people. I know. PB, my other internet name here is Yoda Bauer, so that's me. Oh, I think you figured that out because I believe you subscribe to this channel also.
Jess is legendary. That much is confirmed.
Critical systems failure in 2 minutes.
True.
Not much
2
time
minutes.
left.
Steven and PB and I have had many great talks in Bare Naked Gaming Discord.
Almost got it.
Before we moved them into a no rules, them chat only room that they're made just for them.
Oh.
Troy.
Thank you.
It probably is. I don't know. I don't go in there.
Eliminate
Well, I guess not if it's no rules only for them.
Hey, did you plug the stream or shall I go plug the stream?
I did in a couple places. If you want to do a couple more, you can.
Before I can help you, sir. Squad member incapacitated.
Yeah, we're doing really terribly because we need Bacta. But I'm really trying to rush this thing after.
Alright, the time thing, right?
So the internet tells me that you had 10 minutes to do this level, but the audio said 5, so I'm wondering if it's like double real world time to game time kind of thing.
Oh, could be.
But it just told me I had 2 minutes left, and I'm hoping that means I have 4 minutes left because I'm not near the end yet.
I'm ready. I'm helping Delta 6 too.
Trying to get all my guys alive now. We really need.
Did you put in a Republic Commando thumbnail?
I did, yes. I don't know if it had time to update before I started, but.
Okay, I just posted it and that's right. Don't mind us guys. We're just working out totally normal things. You can talk about it on stream.
Gain access to the bridge. Can't figure which way to go.
YouTube gets very confused. It does not tend to like it when you change thumbnails on it. So that's okay.
Nice hit, boss. I'm out. Reloading.
Yes, I'm sure it is, PB. You know, I just figured that you and Steven's happy place, and I don't want to go in there and have to rain on that parade, you know?
6, 5, 4,
This is not gonna work.
I'm gonna multitask. I'm gonna watch you and talk to you and clean my room. Because I can't even walk in it right now. Like, I was gonna make a joke.
We'll beat them down to 3-8. Come in 3-8. I think Delta Squad has been eliminated.
So our time thing didn't go well there.
Alert. Hull breach imminent. Critical systems failure in 5 minutes.
I said our time thing didn't go well there. So when it says 5 minutes, it means 5 minutes. So.
PB, I don't know if Kieran knows that this channel exists. To be completely honest, unless you are in fact Kieran. Now I know that was a conspiracy theory. I don't know Kieran well enough to know if that's true.
Eliminate target.
Evacuate immediately.
I need some ammo. Why do I always need ammo? Ammo is never around when you need it.
I just like to know how all of our
Yeah, Nox, I was going to do that, but I don't have any ammo for the sniper. So, I don't have a whole lot of options.
Nox, I was playing War of the Chosen again yesterday. I'm better, and I was like, okay, but now I have to actually started the end of the campaign, and I was doing so well. I would have been so proud of me, and then I just got great wrecked by that lady, and I'm really mad about it. My skills were there, and then I failed. I failed my soldiers. Actually, the soldier who missed an 80% shot failed me first. But I got
Stabilizers failing. System failure imminent.
I said, Doc Quick is I know that. I was there when Doc Quick showed up, and then it turned out to be Steven and the Great Canadian guy didn't know. I made a meme out of it. It's pretty good.
Subject terminated.
Take offensive formation. Commencing. Eliminate target.
Why won't these guys quit?
Well, this wouldn't take so long if you could aim.
You guys throw some serious shade.
In 3 minutes.
Droid deactivated.
Range charge.
Next one.
Clear.
That's how you know they're friends.
Grenade.
Door cleared. We're good to go.
Got an enemy droid visual here.
You okay over there?
Eliminate target.
Yeah, Steven, I made a meme based off of the check one on Great Canadian Guys thing. Maybe I never showed it to you. I thought I posted it in Discord.
Monsters. Subject terminated. Taking fire. 6-2's gone down.
Yeah, Jess, you sounded like you were having a war with a blanket there for a minute.
No, did I? My bad. If it gets too distracting, I'll stop.
In 2 minutes.
No, you're good.
Not much time left, sir.
It's just like, and if there was a fire in the middle of the night, that's what now I know.
Hostile before I can help you, sir. Subject terminated.
I was late because I was recording something for a super secret thing that might go up soon.
Yeah, I told him you were working on a thing.
It's not that secret, but what am I doing? I am cleaning my room. We'll see how it I also don't think Hannah knows I have a channel. Like, these are all Bear and John's people that I know through them. Probably have a channel. Or 2 channels, for that matter.
Yeah.
Alert. All reach
Alright, third time's the
Critical
charm.
systems failure in 5 minutes. Evacuate immediately.
What is this? So you're cleaning your room and you say, what is this? More options than not.
Textbook takedown, sir.
So like the ending, I liked it. I got really nervous when I got teleported into the final room Knox because I was like, wait, what's happening? It's different. And then I figured out that the end works the same. They teleport you in different space now. A buddy of mine, Absurdum, who plays it a lot, says it was just did that for performance reasons. But the cutscenes at the end were really cool, especially the Templar one. Nolan's here! Hey, Nolan. Nolan is a mod, so you should watch out for him here.
Yeah, Nox, I'm not really worried about it being too hard. I keep running out of ammo. So, like...
Taken care of.
But I found some. I guess I just missed this
Critical systems failure.
before. I would rather not use cheats if I can avoid it.
Remind me to leave the ship before we destroy it next time.
But I'm doing a lot better right now, so... Actually, let's do a quick save right here.
I mean, if I could... In fairness, when I was getting through, what's it, Jedi Outcast, I super had to look stuff up.
Recharge. Clear.
At a couple different points. For my quiet on Google that.
Yeah.
Visual lock.
Eliminate target.
I mean, it's not so much I don't know what to do, I'm
Stabilizers failing. System
not
failure
always in
imminent.
possession of enough ammo to do it.
Powering up.
That makes sense. I can understand that.
This is the best run of it yet, so...
Watch that blaster fire. Good take, Lee. Hold on a minute. Eliminate target.
It also helps when I pay attention and dodge their wrist rockets.
That's something cool how much your squad mates will do.
Critical systems failure in 3 minutes.
Yeah, Nox, I don't doubt that there's cheat codes. I would just rather, if I can do it without a cheat code, I would rather do that.
Eliminate target.
Beautiful strike, sir. You got one, Commando.
Your tactical advice is helpful with the advice on how to take out different stuff.
It's helpful with the crap. It's about as best I've heard.
It's done.
I'm gonna drink a Coke,
Hold tight,
and my
Deltas.
Coke
We're
can
almost there.
says share a Coke with America. I'm wondering
be
if
just
that
through the
means
storm.
the country or America Sierra.
Wait.
If that was an option,
Moving to cover.
Give me a slice
I
on
mean,
that
I
door,
don't
Delta.
get wrong.
Keep me covered, Delta.
alright, we should have time to do this.
Like on Superstore now, right? Like she's doing things.
A few seconds more.
Critical systems failure
All right,
in
doors
2
open.
minutes.
Not much time
already
left,
see
sir.
where I'm at.
You better hurry.
This
Come
is
on,
where
Delta.
we have to go over
Get
here.
that
That
and get out
console,
of
it's our only ticket out of here. Category destroyed. Ready.
I mean, unless this is a game where you're expected to use the code for the game, I don't think codes are necessary right now. Not they're appreciated, however.
I mean, I definitely don't have a problem using cheat codes most of the time, but if I don't have to, I would rather not, you know?
I had a lot of fun one time. I was playing through KOTOR, and I don't have this. Now that I play it on Steam, I haven't figured out how to open it up on Steam. But on my old computer, I had
Hurry
cheats
up.
enabled
This
on
is taking
KOTOR.
longer than I'd like.
And I did a playthrough once where I jacked up all my stats all the way,
Oh,
just
yeah.
so that you could do stuff, just to see what would happen.
Position, Delta.
and I had, I could get indoors if you weren't supposed to,
Critical systems failure.
because
Yeah.
instead of making them impossible to open, they just made it like a security level that was higher than you could have conceivably had in the game at that point.
Noted, sir.
And like you would open doors and bug out. It was really
Now get
funny.
yourselves out of there.
Aft doors open.
No.
Can we
Squad,
leave
we're
now?
approaching the core
I'm
ship
supposed
now.
to enter.
Advance to the aft docking ring. Be advised we're going to blast it open.
Alright.
So where is everyone?
Eliminate target.
Steven's always at least 3 of our viewers, which I greatly appreciate. You know, for somebody to like our channel so much that they show up 3 times really says something.
Well, I was trying to just run ahead,
Critical
but
systems
I appear
failure
to
in
have...
20 seconds.
Oh, run the wrong way, so... Like, where did all my friends go? Because they did not come this way with me. It's because they went the right way. I did not.
Failure in 10.
You went the creative way.
Yep.
That's what you call
Oh, I've got 8 seconds. Jeez.
7.
Ah! Do the thing!
It'll be
Do
good
the
to get back
thing!
home to the prosecutor.
Stop counting down! Go!
3. 2.
Oh! Oh! Good grief! Like, I was just waiting for it to load and it's counting down, and I'm like, it's gonna count all the way down, and I'm just waiting here for it to do the thing. Good God. Ugh.
It made me that makes me think of Galaxy Quest when they're trying to turn the self-destruct off at the end, and like they hit the button, it doesn't work, and it's like it always went to 1 on the show.
Yeah. Well.
That is a seriously underrated movie. I feel like Galaxy
Oh,
Quest.
I love Galaxy Quest. Alright. While the Jedi above ground take the glory, a small squad of soldiers leave Geonosis knowing they accomplished their mission. That's right. Screw you, Jedi. We did the real work.
Woo! It took you several times to do the real work, but yeah, you did it.
That's true. We can't all have superpowers. Alright, well that's the end of the first campaign of the over a year of sustained fighting has stretched the Republic's forces dangerously thin.
Oh no.
Delta Squad finds
there's
itself
only
in
3
constant
million of them.
demand for increasingly hazardous missions. Well, there may be millions of clones, but there's only 4 Delta Squad.
That's true.
Outskirts
But
of
do you remember
several
that
space
whole-
Miss Republic assault ship has reappeared.
There was in one of the Travis novels, I think it was in a Travis novel. Anyway, she took credit for it at any rate. She said that there were 3 million clones in the clone army, and a lot of people were like, with thousands of planets, 3 million does not seem like a lot of troopers.
Yeah.
She was like, no,
You
it's
may
totally
recognize
fine.
your next objective.
It was like one of the first. It was a huge debate back in the day.
Under the command of Captain Motz.
The
Like her
prosecutor was
hyperspace
our first home.
blog, speaking
We were
of
stationed
hyperspace
there for a
blog,
long time.
I think had like the noble 3 million in
Defending
the title.
Republic trade routes
Yeah.
against separatist activity.
I will admit to having a slightly unhealthy memory of Karen Travis and her interactions.
Have they gone rogue? Not likely.
Respectfully, sir, it could be a trap.
Indeed, it could, Delta 40.
I'm
which
getting
is why
some
we're sending
Death
our
Trooper
most qualified
vibes from
squad to investigate.
from
Someone
this
important
next
noted your
next
excellence on
campaign.
Geonosis.
You hear that, Sev? Someone thinks I'm excellent.
It's like we've got a missing Republic ship that has just
Low-gravity infiltration.
reappeared mysteriously.
I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure there's nothing run amok. Well, especially when you consider Death Troopers and then in Star Wars The Clone Wars, the Brain Invaders episodes. Like, bad things just happen on ships, man.
Yeah. Fat Batman's got my back, yeah. No casualties on my team. I don't like this splitting up stuff.
Each member of Delta Squad has been sent to one of the 4 data
Yeah,
cores
no, I'm telling
to retrieve
you,
critical
she thought there
information.
was like
Your
only 3
primary
million
objective is
in
to
here.
retrieve the
Hello,
current
Steven,
recorded data
Donnelly
from the
3.
data core then rendezvous with the squad for exfil. As squad
Thank
leader,
you guys
may
for all
also be
coming
called
out.
upon to assist your
Super
squad mates
awesome
with
to see
their
you guys.
orders. 07 is tasked with retrieving the sensor
We
logs
certainly
from the
appreciate
starboard
it.
tactical.
I remember doing
Delta 40 will
screencasts
hit the
where
port
like there were
core
2
for the
people.
manifest.
Yeah. those were the days.
Which we got through, but it was like,
Deltas, I've lost
okay.
contact with command. Can any of you get through?
Yagi! Hello, Yagi!
7 out.
It's all white
Oh,
noise
I
on my end,
understand.
boss.
But thank you for
6-2
dropping
out.
by.
That's a negative, squad leader. 4-0 out.
Means it a lot that you would spare some
That's
of
not
your
important.
remaining
Right, sir?
battery on
Right,
us.
40. If the advisor can re-establish comms, he will. In the
Right,
meantime,
that's what I'm
we've
saying,
got some
Nox.
data to retrieve. Move out, Delta.
Let me do some research here. Hold on. Hold on. This is gonna drive me crazy. To Wikipedia. If I'm gonna talk smack, I'm gonna make sure the smack I'm talking is like actual smack.
So I think this game overestimates my competence on my own by making me split up from my squad.
My knock's in the torpedo bay. Our ship thieves could
Well,
stand
the last
to learn
time
something about
you did that, all you had to
discipline.
do was walk
Deltas,
somewhere.
report
Though.
in.
I think you'll
Any
be
signs of
okay.
life?
7 here. I've got nothing. This is Delta 4-0. No life signs yet.
6-2 reporting. Nothing but
Public
Minox,
legends on Wikipedia.
It's disgraceful.
If vermin keep eating through the power conduits, this ship won't be worth its weight in scrap.
This is 6-2. I'm getting some interference on my visor. Wait, now it's gone. Strange.
Lots of ammo laying around is just not a good sign. Like, I appreciate the game giving me the ammo, but I would rather not have to use it. Like, if this could just be, you peacefully
6-2
walk
again.
through
I'm getting that
here
static again.
and
Stronger this
everything's
time.
fine.
I can hardly see.
Like, that's the game I want.
6-2. Delta 6-2, can you hear me? Report.
Get off me, you frowning bag of balls!
Okay. There we go. On the numbers. So, when Obi-Wan
Deltas, I've
Kenobi
lost
went to
6-2.
Commando
I'll
and
either be close
Tactical,
enough to
this
monitor
brings
his
me back
status.
to like
Report.
the old school
Negative,
days
sir.
when we were just
No
like
Deltas
hyper
on my
worried
scope
about
either, sir.
The Camino and Prime Minister Lamasu informed that 200,000 troops were ready with 1 million more well on the way. I remember that dialogue. So the Grand Army would have consisted of 200,000 clones, increasing that number quickly to 1,200,000. A figure accurate according to Shatterpoint by Matthew Stover, which was 6 months after the Battle of Geonosis. In the Guide to the Grand Army of the Republic and the novel Republic Commando 000, which no one should both written, I'm bitter, just leave me alone. Both written by Karen Travis with Ryan Kaufman as co-author on the guide, there were 3 million clones after year 1 of Battle of Geonosis. In later discussion on the Force.net's literature board, statements were made by Kaufman denying that this was treated as the definitive figure for the Army.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
So, Peanut Butter, have you played this game? I mean, you sound like you have. I'm assuming that means you have.
You're a commando. Thank goodness.
What happened here?
I'm not sure. I was scanning the maintenance corridors when I heard blaster fire. By the time I got to where the noise was, everyone was dead.
So you came to the torpedo bay to hide?
No, sir. I was trying to launch a torpedo and alert the Republic.
Look
I
out.
don't like this.
What a waste of good genes.
That's a weird thing to say. What a waste of good genes. Oh yeah.
Oh, and I'm still sad we never got that certificate about Uranus. Okay. There were at least 3 clones.
Those things tried to drum
Yeah,
my head.
I mean,
Deltas,
the
I
dialogue
think I just
in
found out what
Tactical
happened to
Clones is
6-2.
the dialogue
Some
in
kind of
Tactical Clones.
scavenger droid.
200,000
Keep your eyes
units
out for
already,
static.
1 million more well on
Fixer,
the way.
keep scanning for 6-2.
However,
I
if
don't
we
want to
want to
become
get
a
super
three-man squad.
headcanony and retconny about it, as an old school Legends fan, unit does not necessarily have 1 clone. A unit, and especially in the military, could be any number of things. So, if a unit has 10 clones in it, then that means that there's actually 2 million ready, with 10 million well on the way. And that would be much closer to a better number. Yeah, that was always my argument. How do we know that a unit is one?
We've got some trooper casualties here, Deltas. From the
Yeah,
looks of things,
Fat Batman, I
something worse
think
than
that's pretty
towing
safe.
Whoever stole the ship has done
There
some
are at
redecorating,
least
Deltas. The aft turret
least
core
3
access hole is
clones.
blocked
At
by
least
debris.
3. I think there are at least, let's see, there's the 3 here.
Lovely.
You might have to slice your way
For
in.
sure. Those are probably actually there. What at the end of this game, Jango, is that being in your head and you're that?
Just have to override the access restrictions.
What was that? I'm sorry.
This is all right. What if it turns out at the end of the game, none of the game was real, and you're still like an incubating clone of that?
The conduit should emerge somewhere near the
That would actually be pretty cool, not gonna lie.
right by me.
That would be pretty
Stay
legit.
put. We'll rendezvous at the core.
They could release this remastered and make that the ending, and then that way the game could fit into new canon. It would be the new
Hold on, let's go to
canon
scrap heap.
that clone trooper baby, 20 million and 5 type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing is there has to be way more droids than that. And yeah, the clones would be able to be worth more, but still. It's alright if you don't like Star Wars peanut butter. Some
There you are, sir.
Star Wars is
We're
bad.
close enough to monitor each other's
Not all of it, but
status.
some of it.
What's your position, 7?
But statistically, there's so much of it. And then there's the Star Wars that I like that other people don't. And that I don't like but other people do.
Peanut Butter, have you ever played Halo? Because I said this last time, but this game has given me like some definite Halo vibes, especially with the like it's not quite horror, but it's got like horror elements here. Oh, it's a little mouse droid. Where are you going, mouse droid?
Aww.
Are you just going in circles? Alright guys, I know we have missions here, but we are just gonna follow this mouse droid and see where he leads
You never
us.
know, the mouse droid might lead you to where you need to go.
He seems to be going in a circle. So I'm guessing not.
Just be like, sir, we've picked up some clones on our security cameras. What are they doing? They seem to be walking in a circle following our mouse droid.
He's not going anywhere now because I shot him.
Ah, there you are.
That's
Give
one
me
way
a
to
minute and
handle
I'll
it.
join you. Just have to slice this core for the sensor logs.
I get a bad feeling like I'm gonna have to watch somebody die through one of
Got
these
some
screens.
static here.
Sam, can you read me? Come in, Sam. Blast. 40-6-2. Come in. Be on the lookout for armed hostiles. I think we've got Trandoshans. They've taken down 7. Delta Squad, come in.
Not
Y'all are talking about
Trandoshans.
things that I do not understand.
Need you with the rod.
More mouse droids. Yeah,
PB,
I am
do
too.
you, if you're a big Halo nerd, do you read any of the novels for the games too? Because that woman I was talking about, Karen Travis, she wrote Halo novels also. I try really hard not to be like bitter or negative about anything Star Wars, but like authors,
Whoa!
set me off.
Whoa!
Oh no!
Die! 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 They came
What
out
are
of
those
nowhere.
things?
They said they're Trandoshans, but they're moving so fast, I honestly can't even see them.
They don't look like Trandos.
Guess they're just like zombie Trandos, because if you can kind of see it now. Where's lightning coming from? Oh, from these little dudes.
Oh, we won't make fun of you for doing roleplay. I've actually thought about doing a cosplay for when I go to Star Wars Celebration, but I'm too chicken. I still gotta work on it. I don't know what one she wrote, PB, but I know she wrote for them. Bear, we were talking about all the fun we have on your Discord. How you doing today, buddy? Yeah, no, I need to.
If the flood starts coming out of places in here, I might say words. Words that just doesn't like on
Are not
stream.
commonly found on this channel.
Okay, well this way is not going anywhere.
You actually, like, slept, dude? That's crazy. What is this, a max attack stream?
Is this the door?
I'm not gonna lie, I've stolen a lot from that boy. He's very good at streaming.
I watched him play Batman for like 10 minutes yesterday.
Yeah, I saw you were there. I was playing XCOM and...
I feel like this is the way I came.
I'm so happy, Bear. I'm so happy you actually slept. Oh, man.
Hey, it's an R2 unit. Hello, friend. Whoa. This is just a leg. I need everybody to see that this is just a leg laying here on the floor. Like, I don't know about you, but this doesn't look good. Unless
concerning. It's slightly concerning.
Is Rocket around here somewhere? He might want this. But
that would make it a little bit less scary if that's why there's like, because I instantly thought of the arm from Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah.
PB, I was playing XCOM 2 War of the Chosen, which alas, I can't stream. I wish I could. If I could stream XCOM 2, I would give up Star Wars and just become a solely XCOM 2 streamer and never do anything with my life. I have a really bad addiction. Actually, I found Max Attacks because he was streaming XCOM 2. Because I was at a point in my life where I was playing it, and playing it wasn't enough, so I had to watch other people play it too. It is a nice leg, Sarge. She makes a good point.
I feel like I'm getting lost. And that's not a good thing. Because you can go this way. What is this? Oh, this is just ammo. So, I'm glad I came.
You might need it, though.
Yep, always.
He did stream XCOM quite a while ago. Actually, I couldn't watch his last stream because he had War of the Chosen and I hadn't played it yet. So I didn't watch the last time he streamed XCOM. I just got War of the Chosen. I've beaten War of the Chosen now, but I just got it in the summer sale. This summer sale.
Shotguns? I didn't think anyone used projectile weapons anymore.
Shotguns?
Nice.
This is Halo. Can I pick up that shotgun? Where'd it go? I want the shotgun. Give me the shotgun.
Yeah,
Fall back. Yes, sir.
my two favorite video game series of all time would be the rebooted XCOM. I've never played any of the old ones. And the Bioshock game.
We'll need to crouch underneath their sensor cones to advance close
Those are
enough
like
to
my
disarm
two
them.
obsessions outside of Star Wars. And when I say obsession, my ringtone and text tone on my phone are Bioshock.
An energy weapon that looks like a slug thrower. I didn't think lizards were that nostalgic.
Which, on my Yodabauer account, I plan on eventually streaming first Bioshock for Jango here, who's never played it. I haven't been able to successfully talk him into playing it.
I got a shotgun, I got a shotgun, I got a shotgun. Hey, hey, hey.
It's a great song. You should record that and we'll make it like an intro for all of our games.
Now that I have a shotgun and discovered how to use this melee attack, like this is just 100% Halo. Like I just want swords and shotguns fighting the flood.
It's the way to do.
You would like Halo if you ever had a way to play it.
I think I would. I tried
Just a
playing
quick
it once
slice.
with my cousin,
I wish
but
Vix
he
were
like
here.
brought me
This is
to
his
co-op
specialty.
in like
Good.
the middle of the
It
game, and
looks
I had
like
no
we have
idea what I was
records of
doing.
everything
It was
that's
on
happened
console.
since the ship went offline.
And I'm so bad
Since
with
the logs
controllers.
retrieved, here's something odd. A data file, but it's not a Republic code. Better bring this back to command.
I'm getting destroyed. Come down here where I can
What are those
shoot
things
you.
jumping on you?
These are these little, so there's, these droids, but these are the Trandoshans that they're talking about.
Oh,
Like the-
okay.
They are a one hit with these shotguns. I am a big fan. Yeah, Halo 2, I thought Halo 2 was the best of the first 3 games. I will admit though, I never played Halo 5. As much as I love the games to start with, 4 just kind of lost me a little bit. I don't think this is what I'm supposed to do, but they just seem to keep respawning, so I just want to sit here and just shotgun these Trandoshans all day. Is that an option?
Forever. My room is like not a total disaster anymore. Great. Really, it needs a good vacuuming, which I won't do while my mic is on. But for the record, that's what it needs.
I really liked Reach too. I've played them all on Legend, Nox. Not gonna brag or anything, but Halo was kind of my jam for a while.
This should connect with the after quarter system.
I actually played the last couple of games on Legendary the night that they came out. So a group of my friends, we used to get together every time it came out, and we would sit up and play all the way through the campaign the first night.
If the lizards know how to slice the control console, this could fall apart in a hurry.
The only thing is because Legendary Halo is really hard, at least at certain points. And so we would have to designate a don't die guy, because as long as one of you was alive, the rest of you could respawn. So we would take turns being the don't die guy.
You know, I see that abbreviation a lot with Halo. What is ODST?
It's Orbital Drop Something Trooper. It was a game that happened concurrently with Halo 3, at least parts of Halo 3. It might have even been parts of Halo 2 and Halo 3. But you were playing as not Master Chief, so not as one of the basically super soldiers in the Halo universe. You were just a regular guy with a fancy suit. And it was actually kind of a noir game too, because you played it through at different points, and you were different people on a squad, and like you got to see different parts of the story at different times, and you were trying to not like solve the mystery, but like piece together what happened, because your squad landed and people didn't all land together, and so as you discover the bodies of your comrades, you play through their part of the story. It was really good though.
That's cool.
What is that? What happens if
It's
I
kind of makes me think. Like I said, I'm a fan of the BioShock series, and there's 3 games, and then the 3rd game has these DLC levels that are really fantastic. That don't really exist within the third game's story. They kind of like, because the third game's a prequel, well, sort of a prequel, not really a prequel, but a prequel.
That's right.
And it ties the lore together. And there's like 2 parts to it. And the second part is like, because up to that point, the game has been all about like, the mechanics are very much like just really crazy, creative fighting. And then the final installment is basically the stealth-based game.
Yeah.
And it was really cool, and I liked that it was so drastically different. And there was a reason for it, because like you're usually playing characters that are really good at fighting, like as a part of their character. And then in the final installment, you're playing as somebody who would not be good at fighting, so it kind of makes sense. You're just sneaking around. Batman says it takes place between Halo 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Like when Chief and the crew leave Earth.
Yeah, I thought it was something like that. Because
I think the Trandos are really short.
Yeah, I keep thinking that too.
Yeah, I feel like I would love at least the lore of Halo if I got into it. But there's so many things I would love if I got into it, and I just can't be into all of them.
I didn't know that Nathan Fillion was in ODST. Who did he voice? I don't know that I would remember. It's been so long since I played ODST. Weapons
I feel like Nathan Fillion just shows up places a lot.
And I'm okay with it.
Yeah, sure. I've seen some great videos on YouTube lately of like his co-stars from Firefly channels.
Yeah.
And like he couldn't, I guess because he was on Castle or something at the time and he was busy.
Yeah.
And so he would always call during the panel. It's so funny.
He just seems like a good dude too. Which honestly, in an era of plenty of not good dudes in Hollywood, is nice.
Yeah. It's nice to have one, at least.
Like, I'm dreading the day we learn that Tom Hanks is a serial killer, and has been all along.
Right?
Alright, back to shotgun.
The second set of turrets is inactive. I'll bet I can use them to cover my back.
So yeah, the game got you so used to all those squad tactics. And then it's like, you don't get those anymore. Have fun.
Yeah.
Come on, you fat ugly VFX. Come and get me.
Oh, I like this so much.
The blasted things are everywhere.
It keeps every time, so I've got the subtitles on, and every time one of the Trandosians speaks, it says Trandosian slaver. So I'm guessing that's kind of what their motive is here, is some kind of slaving enterprise.
Interesting.
It's working.
But
Barely.
they also seem like kind of zombied out, so I don't know. Well, technically, Fat Batman, we don't have Mr. Rogers.
Gives us a clue as to how these stupid lizards took over a Republic assault ship.
But, you know. I actually do want to see that Mr. Rogers movie that just came out.
Yeah, I've heard good things.
It's not playing here though, so.
I'm sure it'll end up on Netflix or something eventually.
Oh, I'm sure. Alright, let's backtrack just a little bit to grab some health. I actually saw this thing. YB, I meant to send it to you. I probably still will. But it's the thing about like if Thor was on Mr. Rogers, and Mr. Rogers could pick up his hammer, because obviously Mr. Rogers would be able to pick up Mjolnir.
Right? Yeah. Obviously, he would be worthy. That's great. I got a voice pack for XCOM 2. It's a mod. And I'm going to download more of these now that I realize how amazing they are. But you can change your soldier. So, like, when you move your soldiers around, they'll say things like, on my way, or I'll get it, or, like, if you make a shot, they'll be like, yeah, or if you miss, they'll say something. And you can change it so that it's Bob Ross quotes.
Huh.
And it's just amazing. Or, like, you'll go up by a tree, and you'll be like, ooh, here's a happy little tree here, and you're like, what's going on? And I keep forgetting I set one of my troopers to have the voice, and so whenever he moves and says something,
if you can read me, I'm headed for the rendezvous
it's pretty
point.
good.
Deltas.
Yeah, I kind of wonder, Nox, if, because I know the CIS was trying to build their own Death Star. I wonder if they, what's the word? I wonder if this is related to that. They did, and Peanut Butter, you're right, they did. We actually saw that in Star Wars: The Clone Wars. I saw that, Nolan. I wasn't sure if that was just a strange coincidence, or if you had heard me talking about it somewhere. Yeah, so I know there's a lot of Star Wars mods. I gotta look into them. I thought there was one that would turn your Rangers' swords into lightsabers, which would be cool.
Boss, heading there now.
What a mess.
Fat Batman with the real question.
What is it? My chat is lagging
Mr.
for
Rogers.
some reason. I can't.
Oh, I gotcha. It says Mr. Rogers would be worthy to pick up Mjolnir, but would he want to?
This place is crawling with Trandoshans.
I mean, just because you pick it up doesn't mean you're...
3-8, come in 3-8. I think Delta Squad has been eliminated.
I don't think that would mean he was, like, you know, slaying ice giants with it, but...
I think Odin talks about how it's supposed to be a tool to build, as well as a weapon.
I mean, it is a hammer.
Rendezvous at the designated coordinates.
Copy that, boss. Heading there now.
Put that fleet in a box. Put that fleet in another box. And I'll mail that box to myself. And when it arrives, I'll smash it with a hammer.
This place is crawling with Trandoshans.
Every time I hear the word hammer.
Tell me about it.
Every time.
It's not a reference I'm immediately familiar with.
Have you seen The Emperor's New Groove?
Oh, yes. It's been a minute.
The villain lady is like, I will, she's gonna turn Cusco into a flea and then smush it, like she's trying to think of how to get rid of him before she goes to, I think she's ultimately supposed to poison him, and then she accidentally uses a llama potion instead. I feel like, doesn't Jango say that the Separatists were trying to build the Death Star?
Which book?
The Tarkin novel? Or I don't think it was, maybe it was Catalyst.
It's Tarkin and or Catalyst, I know.
It's one of those two. They're both Lucino, so I can't remember. One of them says the Separatists were trying to build their own. There's some speculation now that the Death Star we see at the end of Revenge of the Sith is actually the one that the Separatists were trying to put together.
Looks like the
and it wasn't working.
Time to make
and that's how you can see like a Death Star in 3 not have it work, but then somehow the Empire makes a new one between 4 and 6.
Yeah.
I don't think that's confirmed or anything, but I think headcanon-wise...
explosive barrels.
Nolan knows. Nolan just read Catalyst.
Those bloody droids.
Catalyst is so good. Nolan, have you rewatched Rogue One since reading Catalyst?
It completely changes it.
It really does. I'm so glad I read that before I saw Rogue One because
me
I was
too.
so much more invested. Yeah, Nock, sorry, I'm throwing new cannon on you. Sometimes I forget what was in one or another.
Well,
Or
and
like if something wasn't clearly defined in one.
the thing that still confuses me about it, honestly, and I've asked Pablo about this on Twitter, and the fact that he hasn't really answered makes me think that there might not be like a definite answer about it yet. But you know, we see a Death Star, at least the beginnings of a Death Star, at the end of Revenge of the Sith. Like, and so that's the part I don't know, is like which Death Star is that? Because if the Separatists weren't building one, and the one we see in Rogue One isn't finished, like what is that?
Delta Boss, this is 4-0.
I mean, and I guess it could
heavy resistance. Might be a
to
bit
me,
late
I
to
guess
RV.
Don't worry, Fixer. I'll
the
wait.
best answer is might be that there's just a time jump there. I don't know. These turrets are killing me. Literally. Run away! Run away!
Nolan, Rogue One is on Netflix right now. So if you have the Netflix Rogue One, it's all about the regular dude doing things. I know Jango hasn't read the Bane books. The first one especially has ties into KOTOR. You enjoy Jango? Yeah, Fat Batman, I've wondered that too, if that scene wasn't supposed to time jump. I think the reason why it feels weird for that scene to be a time jump for me is we would time jump forward to whenever it was Tarkin and Palpatine and Vader looking at the Death Star, but then we'd go back because the last shot of the film is Owen and Beru holding Luke on Tatooine. And I'm not saying like that's impossible, and it's certainly a retconny thing to do, but yeah. I mean, really, at the end of the day, it's a case of George Lucas being a thematic storyteller over a detailed storyteller. But that's not as much fun as finding reasons. That's true. They could have eventually put whatever that first Death Star was.
I hope Scorch made it to the
Death
Port
Star Zero.
Yeah.
I mean, there's any number of super weapons that exist in Legends that are just like, this is the prototype for this part of the Death Star.
Yeah. Well, and there was, I'm pretty sure this was Catalyst too. Like the Geonosians built the first Death Star. Because Poggle the Lesser was working for the Republic, kind of under a plea deal for a while.
Yes. And then they kind of like run off and stuff. I almost like, there's a part of me that wonders if I shouldn't reread Tarkin because I can't remember exactly what was in Tarkin. And then there's a part of me that's like, Jess, are you actually going to willingly read a James Luceno novel? Like, I think Catalyst is the only one I've liked.
I just want to say the beginning of Tarkin was not as bad as you led me to believe it was at first.
It opens with Tarkin in spandex. How much worse could something get? I will never get the mental image of Grand Moff Tarkin in green spandex out of my head. It's there forever.
Why wouldn't you want it to be, though? That's...
I mean, maybe if it was like 27-year-old Grand Moff Tarkin, but not like dad age Tarkin, like my dad age, not like old enough to be a dad, but like
the Trendos are lying in wait.
Old enough to be someone's grandfather age Tarkin in spandex.
Fat Batman, I've actually not read any of the novelizations, but I remember my best friend in high school was a huge Star Wars fan too, and he's actually a big reason why I got into Star Wars that I did. When that novelization came out, he intentionally got in-school suspension so that he could sit and read it at school.
That's funny.
Because he so wanted to know how it all ended. I really hate these little droid things.
Nox, part of the reason why the Geonosians got exterminated might be because when they were building the Death Star, at one point they were like, peace out, LOL, and like literally all ran away. That might have really upset the Empire.
Yeah.
But they really like, yeah, we're gonna build it, JK, LOL, and then they ran away. After like, going crazy or something. I feel like if I was going to read any novelization, I'd read the Revenge of the Sith one just because I love Matthew Silver undyingly and everything he's ever given to Star Wars Legend canon, which is primarily Shatterpoint. And then I'm a big fan of Luke Skywalker and the Shadows of Mindor. I've actually never read Traitor, though. I didn't get that far in New Jedi Order. But as I understand it, it's one of the best ones.
I wish they'd stop doing that.
Oh crap. When you don't notice a mine. Yeah, Fat Batman. So this was back like before Amazon was a thing, obviously. I make myself sound way older than I am. But what he and I would do is we would buy big lots of books on
starting to get on my nerves.
On eBay. And like we'd go in together and we'd spend like $15 and we'd buy like 20 or 10, 20 Star Wars books or whatever. And then we would split up the ones that we didn't have, and then he would relist the ones that we both already had because we were just buying them in lots, and so it's just like a box of books. And so that's like how I have a lot somewhere at my parents' house.
Yes, sir.
I haven't been able to find them, but I've got a good 30 Star Wars novels that we bought just in
What in death's name is that?
Early internet days.
We need reinforcements. Look, Commando, we sure could use your help, sir. Try, you cold-blooded.
What is this thing? I get the feeling shotgun is not going to be the most effective way of
3-8, can you
killing
hear
it.
me?
Yeah.
I'm reading low vital signs from your squad.
I don't know how far back this is going to put me. Oh, way far back. Oh well. Actually, that's not as back as I thought it was.
No, my thing is, I have so many books I want to read, but like, reading for me is such a struggle because I work at night, and so I try to read at work where I can, but I'm like barely awake, and then I don't know. I'm in a perpetual state of tired, and reading makes me tired anyway, so I'm sitting there like, words, I think. I think so much of our channel content is dependent on me actually reading a book, and I'm like, but it's my Achilles heel. Like, I wish I could just matrix the books into my head. I used to read so much more before college. Like, I used to just sit down and I would just read from the time I woke up to the time I'd go to bed. And then I think college killed my ability to read.
Fixer, I just encountered a heavily armored Trandoshan.
Alright, my brother is here, so I'm gonna duck out for a minute, and a couple minutes, but I will be back in a little bit.
Okay.
I heard they carry an LS-150 heavy ACP repeater.
See you all in a bit.
You heard right. Nasty weapon.
Alright, let's go back and... yeah, basically, Nolan. Battletoads, but I've picked up some kind of, like, huge gun here. I think I already want my shotgun back, though. I'm backtracking a little bit to get some health. Knox, are you still around? Because I have a question, and Jess is going to reread the Revan novel eventually, and so she said she didn't remember all the details, so I don't want to spoil stuff while she's around. And I haven't played Tor, and I know a lot of the answers to this are there. But what were your thoughts? I know you're a big Sith guy, and I know you like Darth Bane. What did you think of the Sith Emperor? Vitiate, I think that's what his like name was, Darth Vitiate. And I don't know how his story ends, because I know it plays out in the game. But what do you think of that character? If you have thoughts.
I'm approaching the rendezvous point.
I read you, sir.
Oh,
Blast. I really hate those scavs.
Sarge, and since you're here, what did you think of the World Cup final? I know you watched it, and our boy Pogba did some work. But I'm really enjoying this level. The last one was hard there toward the end, not gonna lie. So this has been a nice change of pace. Well, not that it's easy or anything, but just it's a slower pace, kind of more
One
chill.
just blew up.
Delta 4-0 at rendezvous point. Look out behind you!
What's behind me?
That looks like a battle droid dispenser. The junction door controls are jammed. Running a bypass now. Sir, hold your position.
And blow this up. And not die hopefully in
Hold
the
them off for
meantime.
a few more seconds.
Yeah, I'm having to kind of figure out what to do with all my time now that the World Cup is over, because that was like all I was doing there for a while. Was watching
Bypass complete. Door opening.
watching the World Cup games, because it was every day there for a while.
Sir, I got your back.
Finally got hooked up again with one
We
of
should
my
go back through the
teammates.
doors I just unlocked. Let's get out of here. Leave it, sir. Let's go.
I want to see what's this way.
Forget the droids. Let's get out of here, sir.
I'm coming. But yeah, if you guys haven't read the Revan novel, I can't really speak for the other Tor novels because I haven't read them yet, but it was so good. If you like Knights of the Old Republic, the first or the second game, it was so good. The ending
Heavy damage all over the ship.
ending threw me, and I'm still not
Don't let those slavers get
completely
close.
on board with the ending, if I'm honest.
Stand and mark, taken out.
But
Target destroyed.
but I liked it a lot, even with the ending. Yeah, Nolan, I've had ideas for other music videos, but nothing has kind of just worked out.
Now I'm ready.
It's not a hard thing to do, the parody songs. The hard part is having like the idea, like, cause part of my problem with making more of the parody videos too is that my music tastes aren't really kind of mainstream music tastes, and so like the songs that I think of, like I think of a lot of like doo-wop songs that I can think of really easy parody Star Wars versions of, but I don't know how well that would do for a wider YouTube audience per se, you know. What are you shooting at? Oh, there's another one up there. Whereas the Childish Gambino song is a popular one because it's the theme song for Atlanta and got used on Get Out, and people just like Childish Gambino. And it really worked too because I made a song about Lando, you know, using the song by the actor. So it kind of worked in a way that
turrets have been activated, but the
other ones might not. So I don't really know what to do for other videos. What do you think though? Like, if you do a parody song, like how popular and well known does the song have to be? Because I feel like
that's 07 down there. They're interrogating
gotta
them.
get down there.
Let's teach those lizards a lesson.
I guess it's this way. But like that's been my hang up, is I don't really know like how to this is the way we came. I don't really know how to balance songs that I know versus like really kind of popular contemporary songs, you know.
Quality shooting, Delta 3X.
So like that's where I'm at. But I'm glad you liked the last one. I honestly, I've probably already told you this story, but I had that thought literally in the shower.
Eliminate target.
It was a pleasure.
These turrets aren't shooting at me right now, so maybe I should just leave them alone. But I get the feeling that they're going to shoot at me.
Retrieving it, sir.
Sarge, you lost a duel. How does that happen?
Scavs, don't let him get close. Reloading. Trandoshia eliminated.
Yeah, I don't like
Don't
this.
let those slavers get close.
Sarge, did you let him have the high ground? Because that's what it was. Nolan, did Nolan have the high ground? Unlike that high ground DLC. That has to be what it was, because you know that high ground is just it's invincible.
Textbook takedown, sir.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel too, Nolan. But
7 should be just beyond the storm. We've got to hurry.
you know, I want to do something that
heavy
people
resistance.
will enjoy too. I just so much of the music I like is just like older music, and I just don't know how well people will respond to it, especially because like most of our viewers on like our channel are younger.
Let's use this clear line
And
of fire.
so I don't really know how to balance those things, you know.
Droid target down.
Like that's
Way to take one down, Delta
that's my
lead.
main concern.
Abandoned position, Delta. Looks like he needs a revive, Delta.
Let's get him back up on his feet.
Set for combat. Stupid lizards thought they could get the ship's update out of me.
It's all right, Commander. You're safe now.
Good. I've got more lizards to kill.
You know, Sarge, you say that, and now I'm gonna make an Mbop parody.
We better get there.
So be careful what you wish for, because we're just gonna get all Hanson up in here. God, one of these things. I hate this.
Good to go, sir.
That's a hit.
Good shooting, Delta.
Now we need some health. Oh yeah, Nolan, did you get that Konami code? If you ever go to our forums, you should put in the Konami code. Just saying.
Slavers.
There might be things that happen if you do that.
I've taken fire.
Ooh. All right, let's get everybody healed up here.
I'm good to go, Deltas.
While we've got a second.
Some back to Delta.
Yes, sir. On my way.
Unit destroyed.
Healed up and reloaded.
That did the trick.
Give me a little bit of health. Let's do a quick save.
Let's find Delta 6-2.
I will also go ahead and say jailbreak. This campaign's going a lot quicker, I feel like. I don't know how far I am into it, obviously. But I feel like this is going pretty quick. So later today, we are still going to do our streamcast. So make sure you come back later for that. So you don't want to miss out on that. We're going to be talking about the Jedi and the light side today. So, you know, we did our stream a couple weeks ago talking about the Sith and the dark side, and we're kind of doing the companion piece to that. Hold on just a second. Let me look at a thing. All right, but we're doing our companion piece to that. So we did the Sith, and now we're gonna do the Jedi. So for those of you that don't know, what is it, Nolan? What are you excited about there? Wait, really? For those of you that don't know, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I have gotten a part-time gig. So you know, I'm a professor. It's there in the name. During the school year, but I don't have a class that I'm teaching this summer. So I've picked up a new gig for the summer, and it has.
The Trendos know we're coming for 6-2. Prepare for heavy resistance.
Has made us have to kind of adjust our schedule a little bit. So that's what's going on with that. I'm about to die.
Squad leaders out.
Didn't even notice what was going on here. So for today, at least, we're going to do the game stream and the streamcast. What do you mean, done one on the production? The production of what?
Can you hear me? I'm reading low vital signs
Like
from
Star
your
Wars,
squad.
like production of Star Wars movies, or like what do you mean? I don't really know what you're referring to there, Nolan.
The Trendos know we're coming for 6-2. Prepare for heavy resistance.
Pay attention to the mine's trigger radius in your visor.
This is a restricted area. Automated security systems online.
Let's hang out over here a second.
Droid!
I feel like we're kind of sneaking around. What the two different
Take cover, Delta.
directions are here. Guess this is just going around on them, or flanking them a little bit.
Hold it together, Delta.
Dying so quickly. Both my guys are out. I will have to come back to them in just a second. Clear the area here a little bit. Reload my shotgun.
3-8, I'm reading low
Take
vitals
him
on your
out.
squad.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get him. I just gotta circle back to him. Excited because you mentioned the Konami code in the forum in the same sentence. We talked about the evolution of how the movies have been produced. Still don't know exactly what you mean.
Hold on to your guns while I rip out theirs.
Like, are you talking about the production movie, or like literal like film production? Because I know Jess is really into that. That's kind of her thing. Or do you mean like the history of Star Wars, like that? Not like
The Trendos
in
know we're coming
universe,
for
but
6-2.
like
Prepare for heavy resistance.
the history of how different movies. Like I just I don't know. I don't know exactly what you're talking about. It's not that.
Security systems online.
One of them over here, one of them over there. I don't know exactly what you
ready
mean.
to fire. Only approach the mines
But
when
we're
crouched.
always looking for new ideas for streamcasts.
Stand back, Deltas.
Let's move, Delta Squad. Slavers, don't bunch up. Quality shooting, Delta 3-8.
And it's, I'm sure it's me just not understanding, so don't worry about
Heal up, Delta.
Acknowledged. Retrieving
that.
data. Commando healed.
Oh. Eliminate target.
Subject terminated.
let's get healed up. Well, literally the film production. Yeah, we could definitely talk about that. Yeah, Jess is big into film production in general, so I think that would be a good topic.
Ambush! Delta Squad, take cover!
And there's always plenty of stuff to talk about with Star Wars film production, because it really kind of revolutionized like just film production in general. So there's always stuff to talk about. Let me pull these guys back a minute to get them healed up.
Powering up.
Get my guys healed up here. Who are you shooting? Are there more of these guys through here?
07, good to go.
Where does this go? Oh, this goes up here.
Stop limping around and get some vector, soldier.
Got it, sir.
Alright, trying to be a little cautious as I work through this level. We're getting into the stuff that's a little bit more difficult than the stuff before.
According to the schematics, this door leads to the detention control room.
This is a restricted area. Automated security
Get
systems
a guy
online.
on the door while I hold off
Let's go in quietly.
the Trandos.
Keep your distance from the mines.
Setting detonator. Clear.
Let's see if I can.
Damn, more turrets.
Door breach. Let's
They
move.
must be keeping 6-2 in one of the cells. Find the controls
See
to
if
the
I can take
detention
out
block.
some of the turrets from up here.
Good lizard, he's a
And that
dead
will help
lizard.
Dead mark confirmed.
help things out a little bit. Sorry guys, I get so focused on the games
Incoming detonator.
that I forget I also have to
Flavors get close.
like talk about things.
Found Confederate.
Textbook takedown, sir.
Nolan, you are. I just want to pick out Nolan or Knox, whichever one of you that told me how you could melee
You, back now.
these droids. That has changed my gameplay. Not gonna lie.
Now it's extra dead.
Delta 4-0 recovered.
I've located his cell. He's in cell number 2187, down the hall to the right.
Let's get everybody healed up, and then we'll go get our guy.
I'm ready to go, Delta Squad. 6-2 getting help.
In the hallway to the right. Is this the right
Delta
hallway?
6-2 has been located.
I don't think it is. No. Okay.
Did I miss anything important?
No. Did you get the data?
Yeah, they searched me, but I hid the data pretty well.
Where exactly?
I don't want to know.
You don't want to know.
Yep, you're
Roger
right.
that.
I want to know.
Deltas, move out.
Hostiles just blew the barricade.
We'll move out in a
Watch
minute.
out for
But we
enemy
want to get
reinforcements.
healed first, you guys.
Got one, 3-8.
See, like that melee attack, that's just so much better. Because you can just run up to a group of those B1s and just knock the hell out of them.
Successful.
Get it up to the top, squad. Be prepared for anything.
I've got some grenades here.
Eliminate talent.
I really appreciate y'all coming and hanging out for my stream today. This was not something I knew for sure I was going to do today. So having so many of you come hang out and talk. Yeah, Nolan, that's a classic video game move that always works. And I swear I keep talking about this, and it's probably getting repetitive, but the gameplay and mechanics of this feel so much similar, or so similar rather, to Halo. Like it just feels like that, and so like the assassination stuff feels pretty similar here.
They're all over the place.
Hostile eliminated.
Nice takedown. Tango kill.
Well done, boss.
Especially because for the droids and for these slavers, it the melee attack is a one-hit kill. So pretty convenient there.
Hold it together, Delta.
And these shotguns are a one-hit kill too. This is way different than we were fighting all those Geonosians last time. That was just
turrets.
Let's go in quietly.
Miserable, honestly.
Moving to cover. Awaiting
Retrieving
orders.
back to.
See if I can get everybody healed up before we breach this door, just to make sure that everything
Never say no to back to.
is going
Acknowledged.
pretty well.
Retrieving back to.
Another thing I wanted to ask you guys about, so the job that I'm doing this summer,
Back to taken.
I'm
Stop looping around and get some
a
back to
delivery driver, and so I'm spending like anywhere between 4 and like 7 hours in my car every day, just driving around, which isn't bad. I like driving,
Slicing in now.
but when I drive, mostly what I listen to is podcasts. So if you guys got podcast recommendations, particularly if they are Star Wars podcast stuff, I would be interested to know what your recommendations are. So, do you guys listen to Star Wars podcasts? Do you have favorites? Do you have favorite just other podcasts, like not necessarily Star Wars stuff? Like what kind of stuff do you listen to? Because I always prefer listening to podcasts these days instead of like the radio or something. It just something about the podcast just kind of works for me and helps me stay focused and all while I'm driving. So
Make sure they're dead.
so do you know any good Star Wars podcasts? I listen to Tatooine Sons and Coffee with Kenobi. But I'm looking for a few more to add in. And
Doors unlocked.
I also am especially looking for, if you know,
Squad leader, good shot.
if you know ones that deal like specifically with like
I smell slave
books and stuff, like long form discussion or reviews of Star Wars books, whether they're legends or they're new canon. I would appreciate
Beautiful strike, sir.
some of those recommendations, because that's kind of what I'm into lately. Almost like a book club kind of thing. I know there are some YouTube channels that do that.
You know what that means? More turrets.
Let's go in quietly.
But I would like to find some
Let's do
podcasts
this
that do that too,
quietly, Delta.
just because that's what I can listen to while I'm driving.
I need some cover
Crap.
here.
I keep wanting to hit the zoom button for the sniper
Enemy
rifle,
unit killed.
and I throw grenades instead now. Stun myself there because I'm really good at this game. Great. Yeah, these turrets are very susceptible
Good vital signs, sir. Fed droid. Blaster.
to sniper rounds. I love the blood splatter from these droids. I guess it's like I guess it's like oil. But it's just kind of funny to me. Yeah, this would look really good remastered. Honestly, I don't feel like the graphics for this are bad, like they are. But I would love to see a remastered version of this.
Let's do this quietly, Delta.
In the Doom engine, or the way they just have you played the anniversary edition of Halo. Let me grab it here. It's on the shelf right beside me. But in the anniversary edition of Halo, you can
Hello.
Hi. Hi, we're taking.
I've returned.
Awesome. But I was talking about some stuff, and Nolan was talking about the graphics in this game looking pretty good. And it reminds me, you know, it's the same era we're talking about Halo, but they put out a remastered version of Halo not too long ago. I guess it's probably been a while actually. But
another battle droid dispenser. Where are the Trandoshans getting all this hardware?
one of the things you can do in that game is like it'll let you live switch back and forth from the original graphics to the new graphics, and it's like really
cool.
like really amazing. Like you can press a button and like in the moment switch back and forth between the remastered graphics and the original, and it's really, I think, kind of cool to see how much it has changed. Because honestly, if you just play through the game, like the graphics are not bad. Like they're not like
Right.
This is the door to the bridge.
4K HD Ultra or whatever, but they're good for the time. But then you see the remastered. So this would be one I would like to see remastered too. I was also asking for podcast recommendations, which I know you and I talked about recently too.
Yes.
So that's
with certain games, I feel like it depends on the animation style. I think some games, if they're stylized enough, you don't necessarily need a remastered version unless it's, you know, taking something that was standard def and making it HD, I guess. But like, if you've ever seen gameplay of, say, Darkest Dungeon, that's stylized, or like I've streamed Stardew Valley or Hellscan 6, and that's all pixel art. And so something like that is something that's like very intentionally made to look that way. You don't really need like a remastered version of it. But then games that try to look photoreal, obviously, you can update.
So like maybe it's just me, and you know, maybe I'm just not as discerning as other people are. But like, I don't think the graphics for this game look bad, if I'm being honest.
I don't think they do either. I think they look a little bit blocky, but not bad. But
I mean, you can definitely tell it's dated, but like I don't feel like that's like intrinsically a bad thing, especially when like you know that it's dated. Like nobody plays, you know, the original Mario game and be like, oh, this is terrible.
What is this? This is so bad.
But like I know earlier Voltix was complaining about the graphics in the game, and I got them cranked up as much as Steam will.
This is the door to the bridge.
This is just
Expect a large
the way the game is, so.
Now I'm really going to rack up the kills.
Yeah.
Not if I get him first.
But I don't think it's bad.
I think part of it too is in the recent rise of indie games, especially because of platforms like Steam. You'll see a lot of games that are released by, you know, just a person making it, basically, a really small company. And graphics like this might be the best thing they can do today. But people like it because it's, you know, made by this smaller group of people, and it usually has a lot more heart in it. Whereas I think it's something where, like, if I were to play a game today, say that was released in 2018, with these graphics, and it was from an indie company, I'd be like, oh, this game looks really sweet. But if I was to play, like, a AAA title, unless it was intentionally stylized or, like, meant to look older, I might be like, oh, these graphics are okay, I guess. I wouldn't think they'd look bad, but I wouldn't think it's like, oh, the graphics are so stunning, you know what I mean?
Well, and don't know. I guess
I mean, that's
I just
like
like a little
complaining that a
variety.
movie's in black and white.
Right.
Yeah. This movie from 1930 is in black and white, so I don't like it. You know, it's like, what do you know? That's kind of, it's the same thing to me, I guess.
Eliminate target.
This CGI from 1997 looks terrible. All CGI from 1997 looks terrible.
I mean, and there is some stuff now, honestly, that is that dated, but like even then, I just feel like you have to like acknowledge that it is what it is. Like I had not watched any of the Terminator movies until recently, and I don't know if you've seen Terminator, but
I've seen all but Genesis.
but if you watch the first Terminator now, it's very obvious that,
so
that those effects
even
are
kind of bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like you can't really hold it against it because like what else are they supposed to do? You know?
Right. It was amazing for when it came out. Well, and sometimes I wonder what the original Star Wars trilogy looks like to fresh eyes. Because, like, I think it looks great, but do I think it looks great because of my rose-colored nostalgia glass? Anyway, it's not bad. I can tell you for a fact that it's not objectively bad. But is it, like, does it really hold up in the way we all like to say it does?
Right.
Or is it, if you were to, like, say you didn't know, somehow you just, you know, never seen Star Wars, had no idea that it's a big deal, and you were a movie fan but went into Star Wars with no expectations whatsoever, and you saw the space battle from Return of the Jedi, like, what would you think? I don't know. No one's bringing out the E.T. game, the infamous E.T. game.
I mean, and there are things that are, you know, maybe objectively not good, but
right.
One, I don't think you can hold it against it if, like, the thing about the E.T. game is that there were better games that were contemporaries of that, like, and that was bad. So it's not like this game didn't try or something, you know. I think it's really good for, like, when it came out and for the type of game it is and the era that it came from. Like, I don't really get the complaint, but, you know, whatever, I suppose.
And I think with a game, if the mechanics are smooth, I think so much can be forgiven, right? Like, my big problem, like, when I was playing Outcast, I struggled with knowing what to interact with because I couldn't tell what was going on from the graphics. And that's a thing, but can I blame the game that much? And I mean, now I play games, like, it was just like one generation later where they started putting the idiot-proof glow around objects. So, like, I'm playing Deus Ex Human Revolution right now, which has gotten delayed because I was playing XCOM. But I can turn on the idiot-proof, make all interactable things glow. And like, that's just helpful because then and I get why you wouldn't want that, but that's why it's a function you can turn off and on. But like, that wasn't that annoying. Like, not being able to know what panel I could and couldn't interact with wasn't the end of the world, especially because by the end of the game I started learning what they looked like. Like, the interactable panels all looked the same. So once I kind of learned what it was easier. But what the problem with that game was the jump button straight didn't work. Like, I can't tell you how many times during that series I died because I jumped off of something, and when I hit jump, I didn't jump. Like, that is objectively bad. When a control does not work, that is bad. Like, that ceases to be art and becomes someone, and I don't know if that's a problem with the port, a problem with the game, or what. But it annoyed me. So I think it's something where if the controls are good, people will forgive a lot. And if the story's good, like the parts of Outcast where I was really enjoying myself was the story in Outcast was really good. And I got really into it, and I still love that having no idea where the plot was gonna go. The part of the game where Jan got kidnapped. I guess if you haven't watched it, I'm gonna spoil my Let's Play for you of a really ridiculously old game. But Jan gets kidnapped, and I'd spent that whole Let's Play episode complaining about Jan, and I was like, Jan, why aren't you here? Why aren't you doing anything? You never do anything. I'm running around doing all the work. And then Jan got kidnapped, and I was like, no, Jan, I didn't mean it. Come back. And it was like, I don't know, it just worked somehow.
Yeah.
And like, those are the parts of the game that I really liked.
I just...
and like, BioShock recently got remastered.
Did it?
And, sorry, I keep talking over you.
No, it's fine, it's fine.
But like, the graphics in the first BioShock game are really pretty, and they're stylized enough where they still kind of work. And I don't have the remastered. I haven't really convinced myself to buy a game I already own yet, especially because I've heard the remastered crashes a lot. But I've looked at the remastered, and it is pretty. Like, they just basically made everything HD. But I don't mind playing the original, because I know the original's older anyway, but the story is still stunning, and the mechanics are still great.
Right.
Like, I guess I haven't played enough first-person shooters to know if they're the best mechanics of all time or anything, but they work. When I hit a button, it does what I want it to do.
Yeah.
You know.
It just, I don't know, I guess it just kind of threw me just earlier to like worry about the graphics.
I'm reading a slaver ship in Hangar A. Have you run into any Trandoshans?
No.
Well, such a...
And they've been throwing battle droids at us.
It's a thing. Well, I get annoyed because XCOM 2 has, like, you need so much graphics to be able to run that game. Like, I bought a computer, like, months before the game was released, and my graphics card isn't supported by the game, technically. And I'm just like, why does it... Like, I get that... And the game is really pretty, don't get me wrong, and it's nice that the game is pretty, but I don't get why the game had to be that pretty. Because it's not like a explore the world environment game. It's a turn-based tactical strategy game. Like, why couldn't you soup down these graphics a little bit and sell more copies? For, you know, this isn't freaking Destiny or something. Or Monster Hunter World or something where you want to get, like, engrossed in the world around you. I'm eating SpaghettiOs like a real adult.
I'm eating figs off of the fig tree in my yard.
One of these days you'll go out there and there'll be no figs and you'll be real mad about it.
What's funny? So this has nothing to do with gaming, but I was cutting my grass the other day, and every time I walked by the fig tree with the lawnmower, because I have a push mower, I would just stop and pick some figs off the tree and like eat them as I was walking.
That's awesome.
These guys can hide.
That's right, Nolan. You know what's up.
Keep it slow and careful. Trendo SMG.
I guess Kevin J. Anderson, who is an author in his own right, but also writes a lot of he wrote a lot of Legend Star Wars books and comics. I don't think he's written anything in the new canon yet. I guess he's just become a professor at a school, at a university somewhere, and I guess he's living in a dorm, and I saw him tweet out like he's getting used to dorm food, and I sent him I might send him another one, but I sent him a tweet with like my best SpaghettiOs hack, because he specifically said he was eating Chef Boyardee. I'm like, this is how I make Chef Boyardee taste like real food. He liked the tweet, but I don't know if he like. I was
like the suggestions.
As someone who's still, I'm like, as someone who still eats like a college student, I have ideas on how you can make this food better.
Now I'm ready. Good to go, sir.
So is this still the Trando place?
So we got back in contact. So when we came on the ship, we were, our advisor kind of in our ears. and they had a signal jammer that was preventing us from contacting them. But we have taken out the signal jammer and found out that there's a Trandoshan ship in the bay. And our advisor is trying to look through the records that we found and figure out why the Trandoshans are here and why they have battle droids.
Gotcha.
I'd like some explosives here, Delta.
So this is a dispenser of super battle droids. This is like the definition of not.
They just died. Quit the chat.
You beat them, Delta.
He's popping right on out. Oh yeah, that's so strange. Yeah, no, even there's so many things. I feel like there's got to be like whole ramen cookbooks out there somewhere. I'm sure someone's made one.
Scorch's hit.
You know, and of course ramen is like actual food and not just the cheap stuff you can get for 50 cents at the grocery store in America. Like parts of the world, ramen is just pasta, not like cheap microwave food.
I'm on Scorch. Be right back.
This is true.
Right, let's disable this.
Trying to make more friends on Twitter. I need to spend some time getting to know all these people I talk to on Twitter on their like non-Twitter platforms.
Oh yeah.
Frost's Bounty, who drops in here every now and again, as of yesterday, I don't know if he hit it today, but he was 3 subs away from 200. I was like, so I sent out a tweet because I was like, oh, that's the worst when you're like that close to a milestone and you just watch and you just never hit it.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, we can get him 3 subs. Come on.
Can you die later, sir?
We were sitting at 329 forever, and not that 330 subs is like an actual milestone, but just like that not full set of 10 forever was bugging me. 330. I think 330 was peanut butter.
Delta 40 needs help. I'm on it. I'll be right back. Don't worry.
Then I mean, at least 9 of those are Steven.
Are you one of those people like I am that like when you're setting the volume on your TV, like there are numbers you wouldn't like I would not leave my volume on anything that was not a multiple of 5 or 10.
I have a friend from high school who used to be that way. You know, as dumb as it sounds, the only number I'm kind of superstitious about is either the real number you'd never hit on a TV, but like I don't like 66 very much for my own reasons that aren't necessarily Star Wars. But otherwise, no. I mean, like, I have a penchant for the number 24 for reasons that some of you know. So I think there are numbers that I would more likely to pick because I like that number, but not out of a I need it to be a multiple thing.
Like sometimes multiples of 2 are acceptable, but like a prime number is just right out.
Stop limping around and get some.
Why would you set your volume on like 17? Like that's just dumb. Like make it 18. And that's just arguably like better.
So Monk had a thing about he liked things to be even, but I think about prime numbers. So like he wanted it to be even, but he liked prime numbers. I can't remember, but he met a guy that had like the opposite, and it was really funny because there's like a bit where they're like trying to they're like rearranging magazines on this magazine stand, and they're arguing with each other because one of them liked prime numbers and the other one didn't like prime numbers, and I can't remember which one was which, but they just kept going back and forth. I need to go. Monk was like my first TV show that I was obsessed with. I don't even like mystery shows that much.
Maybe collectively enough of one episode.
Get clear.
Like I feel like Monk is one of those things that I've seen like 5 minutes of 10 episodes of.
A ton of it.
Yeah. Especially when it went into syndication on like USA.
Yeah.
Because it was like from certain hours of the day, that was just what was on.
Why am I the only one with a
Slavers.
So if your TV was
I
kind of
used
like
to,
just
yeah.
on in the background, like
It was just there.
you were going to watch some degree of Monk.
Yeah. I got so bad, I still to this day I freak my mom out because she'll turn Monk on, and within 5 seconds I can tell you what episode it is, depending on the season. Bear, I got into Psych because they very intelligently made it come on after Monk. So I only ever watched the Psych pilot because it premiered after Monk. I really liked early Psych. I think I only watched 4 or 5 seasons, and then it was on the same night as my club meetings in college, and I didn't have anything to record anything on at school. And so I just stopped watching it because of time. It was just on at a bad night for me, and then I just kind of never went back. I was kind of losing interest anyway. Pretty much once Sean and Jules actually got together, I didn't like it as much. I was really hoping they weren't going to make that happen until the final season. I do regret never watching the season where she found out he's not psychic, though, 'cause I was really waiting for that. I was just hoping that was going to happen before they got together, but I guess I should know better.
Detention area.
Hold position, Delta. Reviewing ship schematics.
Stuck in the detention area. This looks... I love when Star Wars games, like, they design levels, like, to look like sets.
Yeah, because this looks a lot like A New Hope right now.
Delta 3-8, the detention area has an automated lockdown system.
Well, it doesn't work.
I'm reading damage on...
I like how, depending on what Star Wars source you're watching, thermal detonators are either, like, really deadly for a couple of feet or really deadly for, like, a whole ship.
Yeah.
Somebody watch our 6.
This is a little bit of death, or this is, like, going to destroy everything death.
One of my favorite things that we've just never gone back to because I was just so bad at it, but there was a brief period of time where Jango was trying to get me to play the Star Wars role-playing game, which is basically Star Wars D&D, and we couldn't get anybody else to play it, so I liked playing it, but I didn't like playing it with just me because I felt really dumb. I'm like, I think I could have gotten into it if we had like 2 or 3 more people.
Yeah.
But there was this one time where I had to. We never finished the like short campaign, but I had to like sneak into a place, or like I had to convince somebody that I could get in, and I could wear. And I also had like a broken thermal detonator, and I like everything had gone wrong because I had bad rolls. Like my character setup, you had to change my character because I had such bad rolls. My character couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Which didn't bode well. And then like everything I did was a bad roll. So we got to this point, and I was like, screw it, I don't care anymore. And you had me roll to fix a thermal detonator, and if it was like anything but a 19 or a 20, I was gonna die. And I like rolled a natural 20. I was like, I feel so lucky. And then I had fabric, and I had a all-weather cloak. And I was like, okay, can I put the fabric on my all-weather cloak and make nice clothes to sneak into this place? And you're like, okay, if you roll a 20, I'll let you do it. And I rolled a natural 20 again, and like the fancy cloak. Which, if we ever do that again, even if I don't play the same character, I'm going to
Retrieving Bacta.
be in my inventory.
I mean, Lando would have been proud of that cake.
Lando would have, like, he would have been into that cloak. He would have tried to buy it off me. Or play me in Sibach for it.
If you're serious, Nolan, we could start it back up and try to find a time that worked. Because I was having a lot of fun with
It'd be
it.
fun.
We had stuff that was planned. It just
Yeah. Like I said, I was enjoying it. It just felt really strange sitting there. And you're like, I'm just going to sit and talk to Terry, but not be me. And I could not get my mind around it without like a group of people to play off of. It's like... It was fun. I really wanted to do a campaign where there were, because I know Jedi is like an elite class or something, or it's another class or something, but you can like add on being a Jedi on top of whatever you are or whatever. And I really wanted to do one where there was like 3 of us or 4 of us, however many, and we would roll ahead of time to see who would have force powers, but then whoever was DMing wouldn't tell us who had force powers, and then one of us would magically discover we had force powers like halfway through the campaign.
Yeah.
But no one would know who it was, but you would know, so like then you could have things happen.
Fix that last circuit to initiate lockdown.
Depending, because you would know the whole time, or if it wasn't you DMing or whoever. I thought that would be a really fun idea.
Right. I always like that idea too. I mean, one, because I always just like the idea of the regular people in the Star Wars universe, and so I liked making everybody have like regular person backstories, but then like, partially letting one of you be a Jedi.
Gas. Secure helmets.
Or at least, like I said, somebody with,
Now we're locked in here.
because like unless we play as kids, this would be somebody who didn't discover they had powers until adulthood.
Yeah.
And that would to me would just be kind of fun. The character I played in our campaign is a side character in the fan fiction I'm pretending that I'm writing. Which is kind of funny. Her story is like, the backstory is the same, but I don't think that the canonicity of that campaign will fit with what I'm doing with her in the fanfiction.
Look for a grating nearby and plant a bomb there.
Yeah, you did play that with John. It was, I don't know if he's been, I haven't seen him do it again in a while, but Great Canadian Guy was running one.
Really?
Runaway Robot, not a Star Wars one, a D&D, but like...
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Great Canadian Guy did one, and then Runaway Robot, who's also in the Wolfpack, has once a week for months done a D&D campaign.
I will also say, Nolan, if you like tabletop RPGs, there is a podcast. I actually listen to several RPG podcasts, real play stuff. And there's one called Campaign that plays a different Star Wars RPG than the one that Jess and I were playing. But it's really good too, and I recommend that if you're looking for a podcast. It's just called Campaign.
Changing visor mode.
What the? You've got to be kidding.
All right, this is getting serious. Get out of there, squad. The Trandoshan dropship is nearby.
Scavs, don't let them get close.
Isn't that what those scavengers are for?
Yeah, I've tried watching a couple of the streams, and I feel bad because I feel like I really like playing it, but it's hard for me to watch. I always want to like go and support it because it's such a cool thing that they're doing, but I just have a hard time like watching other people play it. I don't know why it's so different than anything else, but for whatever reason. I'm the same way with a lot of sports though. Like there's a lot of sports I won't watch ever on TV, but if I was there, I would be way more into it. Yeah, no. Well, and I think that too is why so many video game streamers get big or not on their personality. Like, at the end of the day, like, I'll go to a streamer because I like what they're streaming, but if I don't enjoy watching that streamer, I'm probably not going to stick around. Where, like, I've been watching Max for months, our buddy Max Attacks, who was on our holiday special videos, and it's been a while since he's played a game that I have genuine interest in, but I just like hanging out there. So that's such a big thing too, because like even with video games, which I do like watching streams a lot of times, it's which streamer I enjoy hanging out with the most.
Very close now. Flight complete, sir.
I appreciate that your title of the stream, Jango, is a Pirates reference.
Well, so I thought it's a dual reference technically. The Pirates reference is the one that I knew people would get, but it is also a folk song reference to the song "Where Have All the Flowers Gone."
Oh, I know that song.
So I thought of both of them kind of at the same time. So I just thought could be a dual.
It would work.
Work on multiple levels.
That's fair. I like the flowers one because it's like the opposite of flowers and ammunition.
Yeah.
It's just kind of funny to me.
Let's crack that terminal, Delta.
Watch the master at work. Nice strike.
When you think you're cool and you have Twitter notifications, but really it's just somebody liking a massive follow text that you're in.
Yep.
You're like, oh.
I've accessed the network. Let's go.
Delta 3-8, be advised. I've got a separatist battleship on long-range sensors.
Well, that's not good. You'll hear this in 20 seconds, but there's a separatist battleship coming in.
Watch it. They've got concussion rifles.
Let's get a hold of that concussion rifle.
Those pesky soldiers showing up. Just really want to mess up your day.
I'm really having a hard time seeing in this light.
This dropship is their base camp, and they'll put all hands on deck to protect it.
Okay, now I feel dumb. Because this level started out in low light, and so I've been playing in the like tactical visor mode. But apparently I've had enough light to see for like 5 minutes, and I've been running around barely able to see anything needlessly.
I did that in Outcast. There was a part where you have to go through this dark tunnel and you need to use the low light glasses, and I'm like, but I don't have enough battery, and I kept being worried my battery was gonna run out, and then at one point I was just like, screw it, I'm gonna take the low light goggles off and just kind of stumble through the dark when I know it's like a straight shot, and I took it off and I was like, oh, I can totally see. Whoops.
Delta 3-8, all remaining Trandoshans are converging on your position.
The sheer number of Raylo posts that end up on my Twitter feed like makes me just realize that I'm really denying the true calling of this channel every day.
You need to control those rocket turrets to get through the shielding.
I'm dead.
I can help, Commandos.
I saw that Tatooine Sons had 2 episodes that was talking about Raylo stuff. And their last one I think was titled something like, I Think I'm Becoming a Raylo. And I haven't listened to it yet, but I just wanted to say, you know, it's not too late. You know, Tatooine Sun guys, if you ever watch this video, there's still hope. Like you don't have to be a Raylo. Like it's okay. You have my permission to.
Yep. I'm just trying to not be a creep and like every single post that Kevin Scott makes about going to Comic-Con.
Eliminate the target.
Just try to maintain the illusion that we're not super fans.
I mean, with Kevin, I feel like we have, skirted that line between super fan and super creeper.
Right.
And I think mostly he's been pretty understanding.
Enemy in retreat.
But
I'm always afraid that one day we will cross that line. Well, especially because he's probably going to be at Celebration also, and I'm like, if I go and I get him to like sign something, I have to be like normal.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, hi, person I talk to every day. We're best friends, right? Like, no, you've never met him. Calm down. It's fine.
So we've eliminated all the Trandosians now. But now the droids are coming again. So what time is it? How long
it is 2:15 for me.
How long is that until you wanted to do the streamcast?
So it's 2:15 here. I wanted to do it at 4.
At 4. Okay.
The Jesus box signed.
I still want, this is like a goal that will never happen because it's so like long term, I guess, but I would still love to get my copy of From a Certain Point of View signed by all 40 authors.
I would too.
But not all of those authors are people that do cons and stuff, so
right.
But I actually think I might call this stream here.
Okay.
So we're mostly through this campaign, and I feel like this is probably a good kind of stopping point here, because I want to have some rest time if I can before we jump back into our streamcast. So we can still hang out here for a second. Let me catch up on chat because I've not been reading much at all. And I don't know why this slide, so I was doing this again. This slide is like an hour behind on the chat. But I thank you guys for hanging out with me. If this works for everybody, we might try to do this again next week until I can until I finish Republic Commando, which I think if I do 2 more streams, I could probably finish it based on how long I know the game is supposed to be. But if you guys are down for doing our game stream on the same day as our streamcast stream, I think that might be the way I try to go through and finish it.
Yeah, I think for the duration of the summer, unless something else changes. Oh yeah, now your chat's updating. I see that. We're probably gonna do streamcast on Tuesday, and then when it's my turn to stream again a game, I probably will do it on a different day.
Yeah.
But for right now, as our schedules are, that is the one thing about co-running a channel is you have to both be available to do things.
But I
and when one of you works in the middle of the night.
Yeah. But I appreciate you guys coming out. We had a lot of people hanging out in chat for this. But like I mentioned earlier, come back later. So we are still going live with our weekly streamcast. So check out that streamcast as well. We're going to be talking about the Jedi and the light side of the Force.
It's in about an hour and 40 minutes from now.
We did our dark side Sith stream a while back, and this is going to be kind of the companion piece to that. So come back and hang out with us again for that, for our regular streamcast. And if you don't, make sure you follow us on all the things, Facebook, Twitter, subscribe, and hit that notification bell here on YouTube, and you will know every time we go live, including for our streamcast later today. But if there's nothing else, I don't think there is for now. We'll see you in just a little bit. So stick around, and we'll be back in just under 2 hours to talk some more Star Wars with you. And we'll see you then.
Bye.